Ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on the Sports Byline USA Network. I'm your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined once again by SFL CEO Zach Stanley.
Jonald, I've been away from you too long. You don't remember that song?
No, it's not a real song.
I made that song up.
That's correct. You make up a lot of things, and in your absence, we made up a lot of fun jokes and some fun games and
you
some
can't make
fun
up Teddy
times.
Bear 2, though. He is all too real.
Yeah, that is true. Teddy Bear 2 here, Nick Steblenko.
Yep, I'm here.
You've become the only man that stays here permanently. Zach leaves, I leave.
You're never going to get rid of me, Jonald.
Yeah, once you got in, it's kind of your show.
Oh, it's my show now?
Yeah, it's the
welcome
it's the
to the Teddy Bear 2 show.
Special
starring
guest
Teddy Bear 2 and Zach. Oh,
Carey
wait, you
Price.
can be on my show too if you want.
Carey Price is on today.
No, Carey Price is not on today.
The Price is right.
We're not discussing Carey Price. Actually, that's not true. Jonald's mailbag, I believe, has a Carey Price-related question.
Oh,
about
yeah.
that? How about that?
Don't be all excited
Hey,
about
he
that.
was the guy that we were talking about from the beginning, that
We
he
were.
could be the one that made some noise and pushed his team through.
Yup,
And that's exactly what he did last night. He won that game.
single-handedly.
And look at that. You guys talked about something possibly happening, and it did. And the Sharks thank you. Oh, wait a minute.
oh,
No,
yeah,
they
that's
don't.
right. 6 out of 8 ain't bad, Jonald. You got to give me that.
My teams are still in.
Oh, but your coach is not in, though.
I took the Ducks and the Bruins.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Tortorella. Oh, bye-bye.
I'm not concerned about John Tortorella.
You
and
should be.
actually, you know what? I was very concerned about him, and now I am not.
Now you don't have to worry
Now
about
I have
it.
no worries.
And now the only thing you have to worry about is just doling out daily fantasy sports information, because that's what the Star Fantasy League Show is all about. Today we have lots of knowledge for you.
I can do that.
We are dropping lots of knowledge. We're building our lineups for NBA on Friday on StarFantasyLeagues.com.
We're here to produce for you.
We got a healthy dose of Jonald's mailbag, and also NBA, MLB, NHL, all for Saturday. We got an action-packed show.
It's going to be a great, exciting weekend.
Tomorrow's going to be phenomenal.
Exciting
I'm so
weekend,
excited.
exciting show. Welcome back, Zach. It's going to be a lot of fun today. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
Now, let's get back to it. The Star Fantasy League Show. Feel free to tweet the show at SFL Show.
Let's do this.
Time for your Star Fantasy League's NBA fantasy lineup breakdown.
That's right, Mr. Cageman. It is time to break down NBA lineups on StarFantasyLeagues.com for Friday. Playoffs might be one of the last days of the first round.
What an amazing first round it has been.
It has. It's really been off the charts.
3 Game 7s and more possibly around the corner, depending on the outcomes of this evening's games.
We're going to break down the games first, and then we're going to actually, predict some games in Jonald's mailbag. So let's get to that later, but let's break down fantasy right now. First, I believe you took a picture with a life-size Jenga set in Miami. Did that actually happen?
Yes, I did. I really wanted to contribute something that I could bring back framed for the man in the cage. And
Say, is that just rude to show him a picture of you playing Jenga while he has
now
a
it's
boring
posted
one?
on his wall, so he's pretty. I mean, he was smiling, he was glowing.
He still doesn't know Jason's name, though.
No.
I really hope he gets Jason's name right today when he's off the show. It'd be pretty funny.
It could happen during the third segment. Who knows?
He got really. Jason got a little uppity. He kept asking me to do the spiel. He's like, "Shut up!" And just
He's so bubbly.
He gets a little. Yes, he is so bubbly. That sounds like a word.
The office low talker.
Yeah, that is, yes. Low talking is a thing. That's why I turned his mic all the way up.
Low talking is all too real.
And he's staring at us right now because his office is next door to the studio. Hello, low talker.
How did he know we were talking about him? He must be able to hear.
He can hear high, but he talks low. Eh? Does that
We've
work?
got thin walls here.
That's very true. Speaking of the yoga studio next door, or whatever the heck it is.
Speaking of thin walls, Teddy Bear 2 is here.
I am not a thin wall at all.
No, you are not.
No.
But we got to give the spiel.
You're a Mack truck.
Yeah, we got to give the spiel that you guys love so much. If you've never played NBA on on StarFantasyLeagues.com, or if you've never played daily fantasy in general, you get a $100,000 salary cap, 2 guards, 2 forwards, 2 center, 2 utility. That's any player you want. Got to stay under the cap, get the most points, you win the most money. Easy game.
Live the dream.
Yes, live the dream. Unless you're Nick Steblenko and you've lost to me like 4 days in a row.
How did Mike Miller do? Almost as bad as Mike Scott. That would have been your answer. Come on, get on your toes. You would have had me.
Mike Scott was 1,000 more, and he got less
Yeah,
points.
he was horrendous. Oh, my God.
And he
He
got in
didn't
a
even
fight.
break 4 points.
And he got in a fight. Oops.
Yeah, so suffice to say that the mics were not on last night.
And you know what the funny thing is? Jason and I made 2 lineups every day. Jason and I end up with the same lineup in one of ours. Exact same
The
lineup.
funny thing is Mike Scott had 17 points in that one corner and ended up with like 18 fantasy points.
Because he got taken out halftime. He didn't play again in that game. That's just, it made no sense. It's Budenholzer.
He is flash in the pan.
Budenholzer.
He was flash in the pan all year long. What do you expect of him in the playoffs?
True.
Guess
All right.
so.
Nick's not a flash in the pan. He's going to give us his lineup on StarFantasyLeagues.com, and we're going to break it down.
All right, well, I will start with your boy, Trey Daniels.
Whose boy? You
Your
talking about
boy.
me?
John's
Okay.
boy. John's boy.
John Boy. John Boy.
I can't say that I expect him to have like a 20 fantasy point night, but 15 would do. He's at 3,400. It'll do.
Yeah, I have no problem. It's one of those things. I like to go low risk, so I made one lineup with him and kind of went crazy, and then I made one without him. It's a more even lineup. But yeah, I have no problem putting him in if you want to get those gigantic names in there, because there's a bunch of them that are
There are
on the radar.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I don't have a big issue with that. I think at this point in the year, you're looking for those value type plays, and he's at least one that you can look at that should get a decent amount of minutes.
He's the only one under. We talked about this. He's the only one under like 8,000 you can even look at without crying. So
Yeah.
Yep, very true. One guy that you can look at over 8,000, though, is Grievous Vasquez. I mean, we've been saying he's a must-play. I mean, 8,800, he's going to get right around 20 to 25 fantasy points. If he goes higher, great. His ceiling's up there, too. He's getting the minutes.
correct.
Yep. I think he's a must play.
All right.
You know what the funny thing is? He might be a must play, but I only have him in one of my lineups.
And I actually don't have him in mine.
He's a must play, but I do not have him.
Well, I'm looking at the fact that I have Patrick Patterson in, and I'm starting to rethink.
Yeah, correct. That I don't know what your guys' fascination with Patrick Pat. I put him in once.
He's getting right around
consistent.
20 every game.
Yeah, he's consistent.
And he's starting to get Jose's minutes. Jonas.
I was like, who are you talking about?
Jose Calderon.
Yeah.
Jonas Valanciunas.
He was on that Toronto team 8 years ago.
He's starting to get Valanciunas' minutes. He's dipping into them. He's getting up towards 30 right now. He's also getting some of Amir Johnson's minutes. So I like him as a reasonable option. And you never know if the other guy's missing some shots, then he could be in trouble.
True.
Yeah.
Grievous relies on the three a lot.
But Grievous has been playing. They're playing three. They've been playing the 3-guard system the whole series.
That's true.
Apparently, it's working. I can't believe this is going to be.
I'm excited for this game tonight.
This is going to be a 7-game series. I really expected this to be over in 5 or 6 in Brooklyn's favor, but well.
Interesting. All right. I have my second guard, Grievous Vasquez I had in the utility spot, but my second guard is Manu Ginobili. God, I mean, he really stepped it up.
One word, 8 syllables. Ginobili!
Is that your Charles Barkley impression?
No, I was trying
Ginobili!
to... Okay, there you go.
That's pretty
fine.
good.
Okay.
I tried to make it as many syllables as possible.
He's a great pick. He is always an awesome playoff pick, but this series is particularly favorable for him in terms of matchups. He clearly likes to play against the Mavericks. He's gotten pretty much. I think he's gotten over 24 points every game.
Correct.
Fantasy points.
I think he has the most upside in that range, that 11 to 12,000 range, more than anybody else. I mean, I have Paul Pierce in my lineup, but I think he has more upside than anybody.
It's going to be a shootout between Manu, Paul Pierce, and Joe Johnson. I would prefer to have some kind of combination of the three of them in your lineup tonight.
I've got all of them.
Yep. It's exactly what you should have.
Didn't Joe Johnson drop like 40 fantasy points one night?
And then had 7 the next night.
Yeah, but he's gotten around 38 twice in this series.
Yep.
So
I prefer. I mean, Joe Johnson.
And this is a game. I think if you want to choose a few players from Brooklyn, they're going to put everything on the line.
I think it should be Joe and Paul Pierce. Yeah.
I have Pierce in my lineup. I did not put Joe Johnson in there. Just didn't really fit. So Pierce is one of my forwards. The other forward I have is Tim Duncan. He's 16,644. It's a closeout game, and no matter what, he's going to be consistent. He's going to have the fantasy points there. I like this because I think the ceiling's just a little bit higher in this game.
All right. Do you have Dirk or no?
I do have Dirk.
Okay. I was going to make sure you had Dirk because I pulled this stat today. He's averaging 28.9 real game points, not fantasy points, when he's facing elimination.
Dirk?
That is a monster stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think I said somebody else as my play of the day today.
You had Dwight Howard.
That's
I don't have Dwight in just because he didn't fit, just because of the way I.
It could honestly be Dirk putting up.
I've
45.
got Dwight in.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, I like Aldridge.
I have Dwight and Dirk in one of my lineups tonight. You have Aldridge?
I like Aldridge more. They're at home and it's a closeout.
I like Aldridge a lot tonight. Actually, I don't know if I like. Well, actually, I usually do like him more just because I feel more confident when I'm watching him with the ball in his hands than I do Dwight.
My problem is the Asik factor. Just the fact that they started two centers, Asik guarding Aldridge right off the bat, it doesn't allow him to get into a flow right away, which kind of slowed him down and it confused him right away.
I've got the Sheik in.
Yeah,
8,500.
You should.
33 minutes in back-to-back games. Great play.
I have.
Sheik.
Yeah, Asik is the Sheik. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You got a problem? He's an old wrestler. Leave him alone.
Do I have a problem with it?
Don't you insult Zach's back? He's making nicknames for players. That's his thing. Big Ice Daddy, Tiago Splitter. All these things.
When I see them make a big play in the game, I actually yell that at the TV.
Sure
it's not a game.
All right, Nick, you're on centers, right? You got that Tiago?
I do have Tiago, and I mean, after what he did to me in our matchup the other night, I can't.
Yeah, that was the big point of contention between Nick and I was Ike against Allen Beast, and Tiago.
I've got Damian Lillard.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, Lillard's got.
What an unbelievable series he's had. And, I mean, perfect timing for him getting that big contract. Oh, perfect timing for Adidas, I guess, getting that big contract with Damian Lillard. And he has just exploded so far in the playoffs.
The only reason that I shied away from him is because he's in the guard spot. He's a little bit more expensive as a guard. And some of the big guys out there, I just don't trust the lower-end guys on the
I'll take Damian Lillard over Tim Duncan if you want to go head-to-head on that one.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Why not?
What I'm talking about, I'm talking about setting a lineup. I'm not talking about who's going to get more fantasy points. In terms of if I could put Tim Duncan in and Paul Pierce, and then the only other option is somebody much further on down the line, I'm going to take those guys.
You have Aldridge in.
Who else do you have rounding out your lineup? Is that it?
That was it. So yeah, I have Daniels, Ginobili, Duncan, Pierce, Nowitzki, Splitter, and Grievous Vasquez, and LaMarcus Aldridge.
But you could have put Aldridge at forward and then put Lillard in for Duncan.
Yeah, I think Duncan's probably one of the bad spots on your roster that I would have a problem with. I also like Batum a lot better than that Duncan spot. I think that whole Portland-Houston game, there's going to be a lot. I think LaMarcus Aldridge is going to struggle. Batum and Lillard are going to pick up the slack.
And I don't have him in my lineup, but watch out for Wesley Matthews tonight, who has had 232 fantasy point games in a row. He's shooting hot right now, and he likes to do this in those big games at home.
I'm saying I think if Portland wants to close out this game, they're going to rely on a lot of different guys to score, and I think Aldridge has the biggest chance of Lillard has the biggest chance of anyone to have a monster game tonight. All right, coming after the break, it's Jonald's mailbag time. There's nothing else to say about it. It's just mailbag time.
Can't wait.
Mailbag.
Ready.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
The Star Fantasy League show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Jonald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
We are back on the Star Fantasy League show, and Zach, since you weren't here for about 3 days, I believe you missed probably 4 days.
I missed out on all the Donald Sterling talk.
No, you missed out on. No, hey. We said this on. I think we said it on Wednesday's show. We're done talking about that man. We're never bringing his name up again.
I don't think we're going to be done talking about him for about 5 years.
No, we are not talking about him. We're not bringing his name up. We're not bringing his whatever Chicky thing's name up, even though you closed the show with her the other day.
Yeah, why are we not talking about him? I'm confused.
Because it's done.
It's not done. It's not even close.
Do you see that dead horse in the corner? I don't want to beat it anymore.
I would love to beat the crap out of it.
We don't have to keep beating.
This show is not sponsored by PETA. We don't want horse beating in this place.
The horse was dead to begin with, though, John.
Well, did you kill it? Did you kill it?
I didn't kill the horse.
PETA thinks you killed it.
Well, PETA is not associated with
he's
what I do.
He's gonna smash some more organizations.
And I'd just like to take a moment and say best wishes and good health to all of those racers that are going out there tomorrow. in the Kentucky Derby.
I was like, what are you talking? It's like, there's no marathon, is there?
Stay healthy, boys.
We got to get right into Jonathan's mailbag. There's a lot going on. So let's start it out with Reggie B. He writes, a local Oklahoma newspaper decided to print the headline, Mr. Unreliable, with a picture of Kevin Durant on its front page. Is this headline aimed in the right direction?
I think they literally came out and said that they, quote-unquote, missed the mark. Yeah, you missed the mark. You labeled the best player that you've ever seen in Oklahoma. You labeled him as a bad player. That's terrible.
The second best player in the league.
Not after the MVP's announced in a couple days.
Then he will be the best player in the league.
Correct.
And I really think somebody should be fired for this. I really do. I don't know who did it. It's absolutely horrible. It's egregious. It's nonsense. And you have somebody that has produced, game in, game out, all season long to get you to this position. Now all we are seeing, and all we have seen in this series is a team in the Memphis Grizzlies who have repeatedly knocked top seeds out of the playoffs year after year, gotten down and dirty, and been consistent against all of the top teams. And so when you look at this as a whole, it's really just hard to understand. I mean, he never has had unbelievable numbers against Memphis because they're one of the best defending teams in the league.
Yep.
Tony Allen is one of the best
Premier.
defenders in the league,
He is
and
premier.
has caused Durant absolute fits, rightfully so, because he is that good at defending. And this is throwing your star player under the bus for absolutely no reason.
It's not even under the bus. It's just a stupid newspaper trying to get some kind of.
And you know what they
waves.
actually said? Yeah, they actually said that the headline of an article doesn't dictate the content.
That's so. Yeah, the sports editor apologized for the article, saying the headline was overstated and unduly harsh. If you're going to print that, at least stick by it. Seriously, I mean, if you're going to call out a player, you know who you should have been calling out? Do Mr. Unreliable and put a picture of Scotty Brooks underneath it.
Yeah, well,
because he clearly doesn't know how to manage a playoff game against a series like this.
Well, he doesn't know how to manage two superstar talents either in Westbrook and Durant.
You know what? Put Westbrook's picture on there then, because Mr. Unreliable is truly Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, and you've got management who, from what I've heard over the past couple months, is very, very hesitant to make any sort of big move with their team, and I think that's why there was never even trade talks about Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, well, then guess what? If there's not any trade talks, one or both of these guys is leaving in free agency.
Yep,
it's just going to happen.
You might as well get a return for your investment, and they just won't.
Correct.
They're both going to get paid max contracts.
Yeah, the window could close for a title in Oklahoma City if something isn't done in the next year or so. Because once Kevin Durant's contract's up, he's going to look somewhere else.
Yep. And I don't think even when James Harden was there, I don't think you had a championship team. Obviously, they got.
Really?
I don't know. I don't think that they had the kind of defensive savviness and
savviness.
The secret to a championship is the team. It is. It is a team where every position.
They were much more complete with Harden there. He was the sixth man of the year.
I'm not saying they weren't more complete, but I'm saying you're talking about three guys that need the ball in their hands to go off the dribble.
Yeah, it's not the best matchup of three top talents. It just doesn't make sense. But before we move on, I got to say this. Durant responded in quite a big way to that article. 11 for 23 from the field, 36 points, 14 of 15 free throws. That's a pretty good statement. You know what? They should print this same article again before Game 7.
Yeah, I don't think we expected anything different from a guy who is on the line and facing elimination. This is exactly what we would think would happen.
Yeah,
so
he's the exact opposite of this headline. This is ridiculous.
Correct.
It's just a ridiculous headline.
All right, move on. This is my favorite question of the day. Johnny S. writes, now that Zach's back, I want to hear his take on Mike D'Antoni's resignation in less than 5,000 words. Oh, apparently he's giving you a deadline. Who should take over the Lakers coaching vacancy? You have 5,000 words to go.
All right, my first word is hallelujah.
You going to do like 8 more hallelujahs? Hallelujah. Okay,
despite everything that went on with this team, the loss of Kobe Bryant, the injuries, the turmoil, Mike D'Antoni, one, doesn't have a system that has ever been proven can win an NBA championship. They had their shot at that with the Suns, and they didn't even make the NBA championship. Then he went to New York, implemented the same thing with Carmelo Anthony, who was a player that can't run an offense like that. Then he went to L.A., got Dwight Howard, and tried to do the same thing again for a player that can't run an offense like that.
False. Terrible. No idea what he's doing.
So that's all I have to say about Mike D'Antoni.
I mean,
that's it?
I'm just curious. Do you think that maybe the front office of the Lakers gave him the opportunity to leave on his own terms?
Yeah, I think
he was going to be a lame duck, 100%.
Okay,
they said, we're not extending you. We're not keeping you. But he had a year left on his contract. Why did he even bring it up? He knew he wasn't going to be extended, so the fact that he asked, he's basically taking money to leave. He could have stayed there for the whole year. He's going to get paid by the Lakers to leave, and he's also going to get another head coaching job and get paid twice.
If I was a
Really? You
Lakers
think
fan,
he's going to get another head coaching job?
100% he'll get on.
Really?
Yep.
I don't agree.
I will bet you that he is coaching an NBA
I think he'll be
franchise.
coming on as before. Okay, maybe he will get another one, but I don't think his next job is going to be head coach. I think he'll be an offensive coach. He'll be assistant.
Oh, goody.
Oh, hey, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying somebody's going to want to bring him on.
Yeah, maybe. That might happen. All right, let's move on since you didn't give me 5,000
Oh,
words.
and in
Good.
terms of the replacement, I don't know. They're talking about Calipari.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who else is out there?
He said he originally said absolutely not, that he would not consider the
Right.
Lakers job. Now that D'Antoni is out, they're courting him, and he might consider it.
Oh, goody. Lovely.
Whatever.
And he can bring all his Kentucky
Maybe
kids
he
with
can
him.
pull a real solid Saban.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's move on. Stephen S. writes, the Canadians opened the second round of the NHL playoffs by defeating the Bruins in double overtime. Will Carey Price have any chance if he's facing close to 50 shots a game? 48 saves in game one.
The thing of it is that, when a lot of people look at the shots on goal and they say, oh, man, the Bruins were just relentless. They were all over them. There's no way that they can sustain this kind of production. Or, I'm sorry, that Carey Price can sustain this kind of play.
They looked pretty good in the first two periods.
The thing of it is that goalies, oddly enough, they play better when they get more shots on goal.
They stay warm.
They stay warm. They stay fresh. They stay in the game. If you get a goalie that gets like 15 shots against, they're bored. They're standing at the other end like, can I do something here? So Carey Price is the key to this series for me. I think they can absolutely continue what they're doing.
Would you say that out of the past 25 years, besides Martin Brodeur, the most consistent team for goalies has been the Montreal Canadiens?
Man, I'd have to put a lot of thought into that one. But,
Josie?
No, yeah, because Theodore was not that good.
Oh, he had his years in the playoffs.
He had one or two.
Oh, he had him, maybe. Patty Waugh?
What do you mean? I think the Bruins were probably one of the most consistent. They had Tim Thomas before Tuukka Rask.
That was for
You're talking 25 years. You want me to dig back into the 90s?
All right, we're not going to
dig back to like Tom Barrasso.
We're not going to argue.
Yeah,
we're not going to argue about the last 47 years of NHL goalies.
Ronnie Hextall?
No,
listen,
it's not going to happen.
Listen, when Big Ken Dryden was in goal, let me tell you about a goalie.
All right, we got to talk about the NBA playoffs. It's Friday. There's 3 Game 6s. We're heading to Game 7. We got one more question. Derek writes, the Thunder, Warriors, and Pacers all forced Game 7s on Thursday night. Friday has 3 more Game 6s. Do you think it's possible that we see a total of 6 Game 7s in the first round in the NBA?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see all 6. But
well, do we think all 3? Do we think all 3 of those games are going to extend?
I think Brooklyn's going to push Game 7.
Yep, that's about right.
I think that Houston's going to go home.
Oh, you think Houston's done?
Yeah, I think Houston's done.
I think this is Portland's best shot right here.
Oh yeah, it's definitely their best shot.
It is their best shot, but I think they're going to take advantage of it. I think they're going to take this one down, and I think we'll see the true colors of what Houston can really do when you have a star player and another star player who still, despite winning, can't get it all together.
Yeah.
Which one's the one that can't get it all together? Dwight Howard? That guy?
Well, Harden also likes to jack up 35 shots and make 13 of them.
Correct.
So.
What's the third game?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. I think the Spurs got a great shot to close it out tonight.
But that is in Dallas.
That's Dirk.
It is, but you know what? I
Dirk.
don't know. I always side with the Spurs.
Yeah, I would lean that the Spurs wouldn't go 7, but I think that game is going to be the closest of the 3.
You know, the funny thing is, out of the 3 games, I think that one could go any which way. It could be a San Antonio 20-point blowout. It could be a 1-point win. It could be a Dallas 20-point blowout.
It could. Yeah, that game could go any way. So right now, I will say 4 to 5.
4 out of 6?
4 out of 6.
No,
there's 6 total games that yesterday there's already 3.
Right, so there's going to be
Game
4 or 5 Game 7s.
Oh, 4 or 5. Well, there's already 3.
There's not going to be 6.
I really wish
And there's not going to be 3.
Okay, so you're saying not all 3 games are closed out tonight?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, if I had gun to my head, I think Brooklyn's the one that definitely wins. They're home. They're a veteran team. If they don't win, I mean, what happens to this team next year? Blow them up? If you can't get out of the first round
Pretty
playoffs?
much. I mean, Kevin Garnett's almost non-existent.
With the
Paul
money that they
Pierce is at
paid
the end
these
of
guys,
his-
to what extent can you blow them up?
Hold on. And
I don't know why they did.
They tanked to get this 6 seed so they could play Toronto. And if it comes back and bites them and Washington easily kills Chicago, how bad do you feel if you tank to get a team that beats you?
Good. That's the way it should be.
Toronto should feel really
You
good.
play to win the game.
Toronto should feel really good about their chance that they do that. All right, coming out for the break, we're giving your value plays for all 3 sports on Saturday on StarFantasyLeagues.com, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at StarFantasyLeagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Donald, Teddy Bear 2, and the Deucey Moose. Only on the team.
Deucey Moose, you excited to hear that again? You didn't get to hear it for a few days.
I miss being here. I really do. Whenever I have to go away, I miss being with you guys.
Oh, that's so adorable. We miss Jason. Where's Jason?
We can call him in if you want.
I was saying, he could probably hear us through the walls. You want to just have him come in here and do his baseball
He
plays?
could wave to us outside the window, I think.
Well, he's probably creepily hanging out there.
Yeah, he's probably like right around the corner.
He's a groupie. He likes to hang out.
There
and
he
watch
is.
us. Yeah, he can hear us. That's really weird that he just like listens to the show all day. What's he doing in there?
It's nice.
Oh, it is.
He's really adamant
Well,
about
at least
the
we have
show.
one person listening to the Star Fantasy League show. That's our one. He's not even listening on the radio. What a jerk.
Teddy Bear 2 used to listen when he wasn't on here.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And now he's living the dream.
I am
Exactly.
living the dream.
His lifelong dream was to be on the Star Fantasy League show, and now he's on.
I'm glad we could fulfill it.
All right, we gotta fulfill some dreams of daily fantasy players everywhere by giving you value plays of the day for Saturday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. We're starting with MLB because you know what? That's what we usually do. Zach, break it down.
Guys, I'm guessing you may have heard of this. You may have heard about this.
If it's an Oakland Athletic, I'm punching.
It is
someone.
not an Oakland Athletic.
Okay, good.
Miguel Cabrera is sitting pretty at 6,800 right now, which is a fantastic value for one of the best players in the league. And although he's only hitting 277 right now and only has 2 home runs, you can bet his stats are going to round out as the year continues to go on. He's going up against Bruce Chen. He's played him 49 times, 49 plate appearances, a 4.10 average, 5 home runs, 4 doubles, 10 walks, 11 RBIs, and only 6 Ks in 49 at-bats.
410 batting average, I'd say that's pretty good over a large sample size. That's actually
And he hits
really
344 at the stadium, Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah, in all honesty, though, 277 isn't even that bad, and you know he's going to go up. You know he's
That's
going
what
to
I'm
catch
saying.
fire. So
Yeah.
now I think is a time to jump on.
And he's actually been
Go
playing
for it.
pretty well the last 2 games.
Yeah, 277's okay if you're some guy, but Miguel Cabrera, it's like, oh my God, how
But that's
bad
what I
is
mean.
that?
No, but that's what I mean is you know that the ceiling is
Oh, yeah.
high for this guy.
Ceiling's
So
340,
jump all over him right
350
now.
for him.
Yep.
He'll bring the ruckus.
All right, who you got?
I'm
Who you
moving
got
on to
for
my
pitcher?
pitcher. I've got Tanner Roark.
Who?
Tanner Roark?
Tanner Roark?
Yeah, he's a young gun.
Man.
John, you got to get up on this stuff.
I know,
really.
right?
He's at 11,463, which is a great value. So far this season, 2-0 with a 2.76 ERA, 26 Ks in 32 innings. He's on an 18-inning scoreless streak. Just had a complete game shutout in his last start. And I also like the fact, I like some of these young guys that are coming in really hot. And when they go up against teams with batters that have never seen them before, they have a tough time the first couple times
That's
around.
always, yeah. If you have low batter stats against a young pitcher, that's a good thing for the pitcher, always.
Yep.
First time you see him, might be horrible. Second or third time you see him, you might kind of want to shy away from him.
Yeah, I mean, and this happens with young pitchers as well. They have a year or two in the league, and then they end up tailing off a little bit because everybody kind of gets used to their stuff. Remains to be seen, but this is the perfect time to take Tanner at a very low salary.
All right, you got a stack for us as well?
I've got a stack, and Miguel Cabrera is part of that stack.
Oh,
I am
all right.
stacking the Detroit Tigers. Bruce Chen has just been absolutely miserable. 7.45 ERA, 1-2 in his first 3 starts.
7.45.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a number
And
that
he's
should be in the
6-9 career versus the Tigers with a 5.52 ERA. I like Kinsler. I like Miggy on the high end, mid-range, Torrey Hunter, Austin Jackson, and I think J.D. Martinez also has great value tomorrow.
Wow, you can only put 4 of them in your lineup for a stack on StarFantasyLeagues.com, but get some kind of combination of those guys.
Yeah, but keep an eye out to make sure that Chen is starting. I still like the stack either way, but he might end up being headed to the DL, which would mean Danny Duffy would get the start.
That's another name I don't know. Danny Duffy? That's not a real name.
It's a hell of a name.
That sounds like it's from like a Disney movie. Sounds like Mighty Ducks, the pitching story. Danny Duffy.
Maybe it sounds like a kicker.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
It's a college. It's a bad college kicker.
Kai Forbath.
No, that's a great name. You stop that.
Also, I've got one more thing for you here. value play, Gabby Sanchez going up against Toronto. He's at 3,500, which is unbelievably low. 275 this year with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs, and he's 8 for 21 career against R.A. Dickey with 5 doubles, a home run, and 7 RBIs and 2 walks.
Now that's a ridiculous name.
He's another guy, though, that you have to make sure that he's in a lineup because he's been splitting time with Ishikawa.
You do, but he's hot right now, so he's 6 for his last 13, so I would guess that he ends up being the guy that
that's the hope.
Always make sure to check your lineups. Got to do it up to the last
Weather,
second. People get scratched. That thing's
thunderstorms erupt.
All right, a sport that doesn't involve any of that is the NHL. We got 2 games going on Saturday. Break it down for us, please, Nick.
Yeah, the only thing you have to worry about in the NHL is the possibility of the circus coming to town.
Or the ice just melting.
Or snow.
Well, yes.
Or the outdoor game. But they play through it, though.
Yes, they do.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yes,
but it does slow them down.
That's true.
Indeed. All right, there's 2 games tomorrow. We're going to have the second game of the Montreal-Boston series, as we already said.
Quick thing about that series, Nick. Didn't that ice seem a little warm last night?
Yeah, it did.
That puck was hopping
sticky.
around.
Yeah, it was pretty sticky. There were a couple of puddles. I really hope Boston can figure out how to get that squared away because it's not going to help them. It'll help Montreal because of the style of game they play.
How does that still happen this day and age?
Well, I mean,
they play freaking hockey in Florida. So
they have a $70 million renovation they just announced for TD Garden. So maybe they're going to try to invest in some good, ice making.
I liked when it was TD. I liked when it was TD Bank North Garden.
It's been so the Fleet Center. It's been the Fleet Bank North Pavilion.
It's
been
really
everything.
just the Garden, though. We all know that.
No, it's not. It's not the Garden.
It's
the Garden was demolished in 1991.
The Garden lives on.
Something like that.
It's
not the Garden.
Just like in Buffalo, we have the odd.
I've been to the Garden. It's not the Garden. Not the Garden. All right, continue.
All right, well, we already talked about this. Montreal is up 1-0. Great start to the series for them. Surprisingly, most of their offense comes from defense and PK Subban.
Yeah.
He had 2 goals last night. His second goal being the one in double overtime.
Subban.
He's actually worth a look. I know he's $11,490 on StarFantasyLeagues.com.
Ooh, that's expensive.
Yes, but he's constantly on the power play. So he's almost playing 30 minutes per game, which is unheard of. Once it gets down to the playoffs, you got to look at these guys. So he'll get tons of shots, he'll get tons of opportunities. So he's still worth a look. And the price is right, man. Carey Price is he was fantastic last night, and I think you're going to see a lot of that throughout this series.
He's going to end up getting a boatload of saves no matter what.
Exactly. I'm not going to bet on him tomorrow night because I think the Bruins are going to even up the series. They're at home. I think this is something that they're accustomed to. Tuukka Rask wasn't that bad, but letting in 4 goals on 30-something shots
isn't. 28 shots.
Yeah, it's not gonna,
32. Yeah,
it's not going to win you games. So he needs to be a little bit better. He's worth a look, but he's very expensive. He's like over $20,000. So if you want a nice stack, I've been saying this all playoffs long, but Rene Bourque, Brian Giunta, and Lars Eller, they're all very reasonably priced. Bourque is $6,000 and Giunta is $8,500.
Bourque scored in the first game, right?
Yep. So, they're producing and they're constantly on the ice, so definitely worth a look. And then Milan Lucic and Bergeron should be great plays tomorrow night. Also, take a look at Torrey Krug. He's phenomenal on the point, on the power play. He scored last night. And Dougie Hamilton as well. These defensemen are a bit higher priced, but they're on the power play. They're constantly handling the puck, and they're throwing the puck to the net. So.
All right, what about in that second game? I'm assuming your plays of the day are in that game?
No.
No?
For goalie, yes. For my play of the day for offense, I'm going with Lucic. He's 11,504, and I know they're down 1-0, but this is the game that they're going to need a spark, and he's their go-to guy when that happens. So I like Lucic tomorrow night. In the second game, we have L.A. at Anaheim, and the Ducks hold the lead in the season series. They're up 4-1 for the season. So
go Ducks.
Yeah, I'm going to be pulling for the Ducks. But the Kings, they pulled off that epic comeback. They are riding Jonathan Quick. He's back in his playoff form, so don't shy away from him. But
is that your goalie play?
No, I'm going to pick.
Ooh.
The thing of it is you have to take a look because the Ducks are in a precarious situation. They started Frederik Andersen every single game of last series, but they ended up pulling him in the last game because he gave up 4 goals on 12 shots or something like that. So keep an eye on who's starting, either him or Hiller. I like either of them to start it off because the Ducks have been on a rest. They're going to be good to go. I think Anderson should get the start, though. I don't know why Boudreau would shy away from him at this point. So keep an eye on that. As far as players, Nick Bonino got moved up to the first line with Getzlaf and Perry. He's at 10,482. He has 3 goals in his last 2 games, so give him a look. Getzlaf and Perry haven't been fantastic against the Kings, but they're going to need to be if they're going to be good against this team. On the other side, Anze Kopitar, he's always good in the playoffs. He had 4 goals and 6 assists in the first round. Oh, my God.
Woof.
And Dustin Brown, he got bumped up to the first line, and he's finally showed up. So he had 2 goals and 2 assists, a couple of good plays there. I'll take the Ducks in Game 1, and I'll take them in the series.
Dustin Brown, Ithaca native.
Yep.
Ooh, Ithaca native.
I don't like the Kings, so I don't really care, but I just want to let all the listeners know.
Yep.
All right, I'm riding Jonathan Quick, LA Kings. Let's do it. Got to ride the hot goalie.
You're just going to be that guy, aren't you?
I want the Wild. I want the Kings. Let's have some fun. I don't care.
There's some Rochesterians still in the playoffs.
All right,
there
we
are.
got to get to NBA. We only have a few minutes left. There's 3 games. They're all going to be a lot of fun. They're Game 7s. There's nothing better than Game 7s. Come on now.
It's going to be so awesome. It's all of the madness starts at 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30. That's
Well,
good.
You have Indiana, Atlanta, then you have Memphis, OKC at 8, and then the 10:30 game is Clippers and Golden
This is
State.
what I like about the NBA and the way that they schedule their games so that everybody
Yeah, the
can
NHL.
watch them.
Thank you for not putting 3 games at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
NBA. NBA is annoying.
It is because
I've been
they
watching
spread
2 games
things
at
out.
once. It's so obnoxious.
No, I know, but they spread everything up. But at least, like in a situation like this,
NHL
where
has
they
been
know they have
clumping them
Game
together.
7s.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, when they have a lot of Game 7s, they spread it out so you can watch them all.
Yeah.
What was it,
That's
Wednesday?
smart.
How are you even supposed to watch those
Yeah,
games?
you just can't.
All right, first game on the slate is Atlanta, Indiana. I like a lot of the big names in this game. If Indiana's going to win, they're going to need – they play the best when they spread out their offense. If Paul George is running the show, sure, he's going to be great, but they've been losing those games. The games that they've won is when Lance Stephenson gets involved, when David West has a big game. I expect all 3 of them to have monster nights, which is why I actually prefer Stephenson and West over paying for Paul George.
I can agree with that. I don't have Stevenson in my lineup, but I do have David West. I also have George Hill, who I think is going to have a solid game. He's been playing 37 minutes per game.
He got scrappy in the last game, too.
He did. I think he'll get, I think he has a great chance of getting over 20 fantasy points, which he'll definitely do for his salary tomorrow night. David West, they finally started doing the right thing. They funneled the entire offense through him in the fourth quarter, and it won them the game.
Correct. On the other side of the ball, Paul Millsap needs to have a monster game if Atlanta even wants to be close. I think he's in the range of 40 to 45 fantasy points easily. And at 17,391, I think he could be one of the best top plays.
I have him in as well, and I have DeAndre Jordan.
Yep,
both
of them right top
there
2.
weren't that many options at center for anybody that you would like. And if you're going to go with 2 top money guys, I think they're great.
Yep, I love those 2
Especially
centers.
with the Jermaine O'Neal issues, DeAndre Jordan could even take more advantage of the
You know
interior.
what? Let's move into that second game. DeAndre Jordan, absolutely love him. He's probably going to be my top play of the day. Because watching this whole O'Neal thing, I think Maurice Spates might be in play. He only played, I believe, 12 minutes the other night, didn't have that much production, but the game plan is going to change a lot if he doesn't play.
It's possible, although Jermaine O'Neal said he would have to be like...
I've seen him walk. His knees are butter.
I know, but I forget the quote that he actually said. It was basically like that he would have to die to not play.
The rapture would have to
come.
Yeah,
the rapture.
Yeah, something stupid.
Rapture of God,
Yeah.
I think he said.
Yep.
Regardless of what happens with him, what about Draymond Green?
Draymond Green's
40 fantasy
He's
points.
number 1.
Draymond Green is a must-play. He's been killing it. He's at only 9,500 right now, which is a steal.
Correct.
I also have Matt Barnes in, who went off last game. Loves to play as hard as he possibly can in these big-time games.
Well, especially
and
when
come up with huge threes down the stretch.
Well, a lot of Blake missing some time with some foul issues. He's getting that play in that 4, a lot of quickness. I don't think Blake is a good play at all in this game. I think he just hasn't really shown up. He's
I'm
been
avoiding Blake.
inconsistent.
Right now, what's been exhibited in this series is DeAndre Jordan's dominance over all of the interior for Golden State.
Yep, and also that last game, Memphis, Oklahoma City, I would not touch anybody on Oklahoma City, especially the big guys. They're too much money. There's a lot of other big names that have higher upside.
Yeah, the only player that I have in from that game is Tony Allen, who's at 10,000 right now. He should easily make value. I wanted to pick a couple guys because there weren't that many really low-value plays that you could find. A couple guys that were right in that 9,000 to 10,000 range. And I've got George Hill, Draymond Green, Matt Barnes, and Tony Allen.
Yeah, we keep talking about Miller potentially having that punt ability. I think Perkins might be worth a punt. He's going to get you. He's going to get you 10 to 15. If you want to put in those big names like DeAndre Jordan, if you want to put in a Paul George or a Paul Millsap, you might need to get a little crafty.
I'm not touching Kendrick Perkins.
I'm just saying he had 21 in one of these games.
DeAndre Jordan is my play of the night.
Oh, definitely DeAndre Jordan. You know what? I'm going to go on the other side of the ball. I'm putting in Paul Millsap as my play of the day on StarFantasyLeagues.com for Saturday, Game 7s. They're happening. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on the Sports Byline USA Network.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
That is right. If you want to get in touch with us and have your voices heard, just tweet us at SFL Show. Send us your voicemails. Just we want to hear you.
I'm on Twitter constantly.
You are.
I am. For one reason or another, I'm either looking at news, looking at people that have tweeted at me, or just spilling my knowledge and guts to the whole world.
That is right. But before we spill our guts and knowledge to the whole world any further, we have to break down our value plays for Saturday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. In the Major League Baseball realm, we like Miggy, your boy, Miguel Cabrera, and Tanner Roark, who I'm not familiar with, but I guess I have to get familiar with him, right?
Yeah, he's starting off so great.
All right. In the NHL, finally, you're not picking Corey Crawford because he's not playing.
Yep.
That's the one time you don't get to pick him for your play of the day.
Don't worry, I'll pick him again.
Yeah, no, really. So instead, you have Milan Lucic and Frederik Andersen or Jonas Hiller.
Whoever starts, make sure that you know who starts. Anderson, I think, should be starting.
I think you can count on Nick picking Crawford a couple times against the Wild.
He's going to pick Crawford he's been picking him every day.
He's the best value. His price is still going up, but it hasn't gone through the roof.
It's been working out pretty well.
And in the NBA, we like the big men on Saturday. We like DeAndre Jordan, and we like Paul Millsap.
Real quick, I know that we don't have a lot of time, but we always talk about value plays or who is your play of the day. Do you think that DeAndre Jordan or Paul Millsap is going to have the top fantasy output tomorrow night?
They have a good chance to put up the most points, yes.
Because I'm looking at Kevin Durant in a Game 7. Why are we shying away from Kevin Durant?
Too much money.
He's way too expensive. That was the first name that I was going to say. Is it's definitely possible that he takes the cake. I would actually say it's almost a certainty. I think he'll get over 45 tomorrow.
But we're giving away the value of it. It's not just how many points do you get. It's how much do you cost. Are you able to build a good lineup with those people in there? And with Durant, I don't honestly think I can build a great lineup.
And there's two centers that you really want to put in tomorrow night as far as I'm concerned. Marc Gasol, he's right up there at 17 with Millsap, although Millsap's not really a center. But he's right up there. And I just don't think he's worth it to look at. He'll probably get around 30, 35, which is great on another night. But tomorrow night, I think those are the two guys to play at that position.
All right, tweet us at SFL Show. Get $5 free in your account, no strings attached. We got thousands a day in guaranteed prize pool for NBA, NHL, and MLB. Lots of free rolls every single day. There's a lot going on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Today is the absolute best day to get involved if you've never played. And if you guys have no idea who Tanner Roark is, neither do I. Take it easy, guys.